Hey fellow comrades, how you guys been doing? It's your boy Zeno here and welcome to Pokemon Gold second generation Wi-Fi battle that we have here in front of us. Oh man, it actually took a couple of attempts because this whole time I was using the wrong emulator basically, and there has to be a combination of right emulator as well as Hamachi to connect to connect us both online. So my opponent Argon is gonna be packing OU team because that's pretty much what I've asked for, and I'm gonna lead with my Kingdra. Also, for you guys that are interested in joining the second generation madness that's about to happen, I will probably make a new guide just to update it. You know, I could re-upload the old one, but the old one is kind of outdated and I need to use a working link and so forth. So still, let's just stay in here with Kingdra. Try to scout. Most Suicunes tend to run Roar, Ice Beam, Surf, Toxic, and Rest and Sleep Talk, and that's pretty much any variant of Suicune I could think of right now. I don't think, I mean, Suicune is, it is a tank. It is a straight down tank, such a beast. I'm just staying in here because I want to scout and poison it. Also, I am debating, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna switch out. Now, I do not know what kind of team he's got because there's no team preview here, so I'm just pretty much blindly switching out to my Simp. Yeah, on the Miltank is quite a significant switch and definitely into my favor, so I'm just gonna start to use my Simp to curse away. You know, just trying to go up there on Twitch, starting to curse away, and now Twitch is gonna ban him. Anyway, since Twitch does ban him, doesn't mean that I cannot upload this video on YouTube, right? Oh yeah, let's just go for the Rock Slide. Get some damage in there. He's gonna go for the Thunderbolt. Luckily enough, he didn't get a crit or the paralyzation, and I do not miss with Rock Slide. There's a high chance of all of those things can happen if you all mix it up together. Yeah, it can actually happen, and luckily none of those happened. Now, I'm just gonna stay in here thinking maybe perhaps he will try to get as much damage on my Machamp, depending on his team and depending on if he's scared of it. Maybe he's gonna sack his Zapdos to it pretty early. I don't think he's ever gonna do that, and he didn't, of course. So basically I was thinking it's gonna be a damage exchange. I switch out to my Zapdos thinking he's gonna Drill Peck. I do have +1, but seeing the damage I'm doing, Drill Peck is still gonna do some significant damage, even for the likes of Skarmory, I would imagine, since it is super effective. Still, he roars out my Zapdos into Houndoom, which is a switch I definitely will not, I will just not complain, because Houndoom against Skarmory one-on-one, Houndoom wins. In all general respect, Houndoom wins. So he has to switch out. I'm going for that middle play instead of Flamethrower, which is way too predictable in case Suicune comes in. I want to see how much Crunch does. And Crunch in the second generation, from what I remember, facing the third elite leader, always did so much damage for some reason. I always remember it doing so much, and I'm just gonna try to see. It doesn't really do that much, but it does more than Flamethrower would. Still, I switch out to Zapdos. He's gonna rest away, regain all that health. We saw Miltank, which means Heal Bell is quite evident, and he's got a Cleric. So this second generation is all about breaking down the stall. Pretty much all Pokemon are maxed out stats, which means things are just not going to be packing as much damage because there's no nature, but things are so bulky that you have to always think about breaking the stall. Whoever has the key to start breaking things on the opponent's team preserves the right Pokemon for the opponent's team. Yeah, he's got a big advantage, and the opponent becomes heavily disadvantaged. Anyways, switching out to Simp. I didn't think he's gonna Body Slam. Even with +1, I was thinking he's not gonna do this because Thunderbolt from the likes of it looks like a 2-shot, I would imagine. Still looks like a 2-shot, but he did Body Slam, luckily enough. Didn't get a paralyzation. Machamp was a switch. I'm thinking he will switch out to Suicune, so I'm gonna make a switch as well as him to Legion, counter him right away. But by this point, I didn't even know he's got the Rhydon. So since he reveals me the Dawn, which also I believe was the first concept of a Pokemon back in the first generation. For all you guys that don't know, there were 3 Pokemon that were debated who was the first one made. Bulbasaur, which was first on the Pokedex, Mew, which is originally the first Pokemon, and then we had Rhydon, which was the concept of a made Pokemon for Pokemon. So you're actually looking at Rhydon being the first design in the Pokemon franchise, which is pretty cool. I actually really love Rhydon as a design. I switch out to my Kingdra. I'm pretty sure he's not going to Earthquake on Zapdos. He does Rock Slide, go for that good move. He will need to switch out, but I do not want to risk. Like, I really don't want to risk him probably thinking I'm going to overpredict. But then again, Suicune hard walls me, and there's just no reason for him to even do that. I could have made a double switch, but Rhydon is such a threat because my Zapdos is, in essence, it is a very big threat towards his team. It can take down Miltank in 2 shots, it can take down Skarmory in 2 shots, it can take down things left and right. So all I need to do is just damage it. Not to mention Suicune also, if I would imagine take it down to 70%, about 72, 73 on top of my head using damage calculations. No, on top of my head, at least. Anyways, Sleep Talk, the rest, he does have Sleep Talk, which is very unfortunate. I'm gonna Toxic here thinking he's gonna switch out. He does not switch out, and I'm gonna Bite. Now, by the way, guys, Bite is definitely not the most convenient move to use because it is probably too gimmicky. Kingdra is not the fastest Pokemon around. I was thinking maybe it's gonna work because of that no super effective damage on Kingdra in general, because there was no fairies involved and no, Dragon. I guess Dragon is the only, but you don't really see much Dragon moves in second generation since it's special and most Dragons aren't that powerful, and there's no real powerful Dragon moves. Second generation Dragon moves just don't work that well. So I was thinking maybe Bite is gonna work, but the problem is his team is really packing right now, and he's taking advantage of my Bite. Now Bite is, I'm not locked to Bite, so these are my faults. This is completely my fault of even trying to use it, thinking he's gonna Thunderbolt away. From the likes of it, perhaps it could have been a 2-shot on my Kingdra, which means that my Bite wouldn't work before it, but he's gonna go for Hidden Power. I would imagine it's either Hidden Power Water or Hidden Power Ground. Probably going, not Ground, Hidden Power Grass, probably going with Grass here. Expect me to switch out to my Ground type, which I do not believe I have, but he still didn't see my Scizor, so he probably thinks I have a Ground type at my disposal, and thinking I'm gonna, predict him to Thunderbolt, I'm gonna switch out to something that's immune to it, like he's got his own Rhydon against my Zapdos. That's not the case. He does go for a Heal Bell, and now his Zapdos is awake. Now, not, well, his Zapdos was already awake, but we're talking about his Suicune being awake and at very good healthy condition to go around. So I'm in a big pickle here. Like, I'm not too sure how to face this because his Rhydon is dead stopping my Zapdos. My Zapdos does not have Hidden Power Water or Hidden Power Grass, which I should definitely change, but I'm gonna talk about this stuff a little bit later. Why? And just kind of trying to explain my team a little bit. Anyways, I do have Scizor with Counter, which I do forget for a little bit, but by this point I start to remember it. Oh wait, I got Counter, maybe I can use it on Rhydon, Rhydon against Scizor one-on-one, Scizor is still gonna take a lot of damage for Earthquake, but Counter can one-shot it in case that happens. So I do go for the Toxic here. He does have +1 Curse. I have to switch out, which I do decide to. I switch out to my Scizor because I think that resistance towards Body Slam and chance of, paralyzation can be there, but resistance towards Body Slam is a thing. Plus, maybe he may think I have a Ghost type still, because he didn't see my chat yet, So my chat is in here, and just Sword Dancing ways. Sadly enough, he does have a perfect check to this, which is a Skarmory. Honestly, a Skarmory against this, even +6, I'm not going to be doing that much. He can roar me away. Actually, I'm kind of underestimating Scizor here. You cannot really go +6 because, by the way, for the second generation, you have to know that if your Pokemon goes beyond 999, his stats reset. So always keep that in mind, because if you overpower yourself, stuff will be looking pretty bad. Anyways, he did roar me into my Zapdos, my Legion, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna switch out here. I mean, T-Bolt is an easy, solid kill, and I'm pretty sure, I'm thinking whether or not Suicune, but I'm pretty sure Rhydon is gonna come in here. So, Rhydon against Marowak. I had to use Marowak, man. Marowak is so good in second generation. I have the stats meant, I believe I have it set on 499. So basically, I've made it so that +2, it's gonna go up to 998, but it will not pass the 1000 mark, which would reset my stats. And I'm pretty much trying to test here for the future references and so forth. Go for Earthquake. If that was the right way. Future reference. Was that the right way of saying it? You guys know my English is not my home language. But I'm trying to do my best here. It's been forever and this battle was just long. Anyways, I go for Earthquake, do more damage to him that he did with that Surf, which is super effective. Really does showcase the might of Marowak. Not to mention this Suicune is, you know, maxed out stats. We're talking maximum HP and maximum defense. Ice Beam was that middle ground play that he did, which was definitely a good choice because honestly, you know, Surf is gonna be a kill. In case I switch out to Kingdra, he's just gonna do more damage. In case I switch out to Zapdos, on the other hand, it's gonna do even more damage. So now I'm thinking maybe he will not switch out to Rhydon, you know. Last time, maybe he will think, I still didn't review 2 of my moves, actually 3 of my moves. I haven't reviewed Drill Peck, I haven't reviewed Thunder Wave, and I haven't reviewed Light Screen. Thunder Wave to kind of make Marowak play with his team, you know, play with the opponent's team a little bit easier, but he's got a Heal Beller. Light Screen because my team cannot take special moves, and yeah, that's that's about that really. I should have had Hidden Power, thinking he may think I don't have it, but yeah, I actually don't have it. So switch out to Simp here, go for a Cross Chop after he goes for a +1. With +1 he can easily take a Cross Chop for me. Rhydon is very bulky. At this point his defensive stats were pretty much compared to the likes of Regirock, I would imagine. So that really doesn't do much. I don't get a crit on him, which would actually one-shot him because it goes past the defensive bulk, defensive boost there. Sadly, that doesn't happen. Earthquake does retaliate and takes me out. Kingdra going for the Surf here. I cannot risk. I would love to risk, but I cannot risk. Honestly, I cannot. He's gonna reveal me. He's Machamp, which I believe by this point I haven't seen yet. So John Cena coming in here. Surf is really not doing enough. And this is something about second generation we have to keep in mind. Pokemon here are not going to be doing that much damage. I mean, for my team, Legion is the Pokemon that does the most damage. And if I get rid of Rhydon, Legion may potentially two-shot his team. You can see Surf is doing that much for Kingdra, which means T-Bolt from the likes of Zapdos would be a two-shot. So stuff like switches like this would generally not be able to happen. Cross Chop does a lot of damage, but I'm seeing that it's not going to take me out, and I'm going to Surf again, hoping he's going to stay in here, and he does. Again, he's got a good check. Luckily enough, he misses this Cross Chop, which means I'm at reasonable amount of health. I don't want to use Rest. I really don't want to use Rest, because I'm noticing he's got a Cleric team with Rest and stuff, and I just don't feel like I want to rest this. Yeah, I really don't want to rest this. Not to mention he's got a job interview happening on that day, so his time is a little bit limited. And I felt, you know what? Let's just play offensive here. Suicune is gonna come in here. Suicune is again posing a threat. I could switch out to Legion. I don't think he's gonna Ice Beam. He's probably going to. Well, depends. I could poison. I'm really debating here because I'm pretty sure my debate was: should I switch out to my Marowak? No, it's of course not. It's a Suicune. My Houndoom gets completely shut down. Yeah, I do switch out at the end of the day to my Marowak. Of course, what am I even saying? Of course I was switching out to my Marowak, expecting him to rest. Now here's the thing. I got a 1 chance out of 3 for him to get rest. The problem is that for him to get 2 times rest is most likely not gonna happen. Plus you saw that +2 Earthquake doesn't take down the Suicune, so one-on-one it's a bad decision. I'm pretty sure that Marowak switch was actually expecting him to switch out as well to something else. But again, this is a perfect opportunity for Suicune to just rest away and go to Miltank. Miltank cannot allow to switch in. So Legion has to be in here, and really hoping Rhydon is gonna come in here again, which would be that middle play. I would imagine I'm gonna switch out. I think I made a little not prediction, but a little commentary mistake here a couple of turns before. Anyways, he does stay in here. Wow, he actually stays in here. While I could have Thunderbolted there, do about 70-75%, he did outplay me, and I completely overpredicted my chances. Maybe I should have considered that his time was limited, so perhaps he cannot play that game. But then again, he did rest with his Suicune, and I thought, yeah, I don't know. I'm just a little bit confused. You know, I'm really confused. Why would you stay in against the Zapdos when Suicune is so important? It actually really much is. But going for that Surf, against my Zapdos here. Again, just staying here. Okay, sure. I'm like, okay, maybe he's not gonna play this, you know, maybe he's just gonna stay in here. Let's go for the Thunderbolt. He does stay here, and I said he's gonna do about 70, right? He does. I would imagine that about, what is that, like 62, 63%? Ice Beam takes me out. So yeah, I should have just stayed in here when he was resting away and just probably just take it out. I mean, I guess he kinda had enough of Suicune on his field, and I'm just playing terrible facing one. It is so bulky, it is generally such a big threat that you have to watch out. Anyways, I go for the crunch here, knowing fully well that I will be able to sponge a Surf, but he now rests away, so I'm like, okay. This whole time you were trying to sack it against Zapdos, so at least that is what it looked, but now he rested against Houndoom as a crit, doesn't even take it out. It's very unfortunate. I do get a special defense drop, but sadly enough, I don't think that's gonna be possible, even with special defense drop. If he's gonna get a lucky Surf twice, then this Houndoom is gonna have his days numbered. So what I need to do here is go for a crunch again, and hopefully with a special defense drop, somehow expect it to be a 2-shot. Now the chances of that happening are very slim, but I just have to do it. So I go for the crunch, doesn't really look like a 2-shot, especially with leftovers. And I'm noticing he does have a Skarmory left, but you know, at this point I'm like, you know what, let's just stay in here. I just want to see what happens next. He gets a freeze, so stuff are looking pretty bad on my behalf, but again, I am making bad plays. I'm definitely not playing at my best. My first second generation in a long time. I'm playing pretty reckless, to be honest, and I have to change my tactics. So I'm frozen. I don't got a Cleric. Yeah, a Cleric, having a Cleric in second generation is it is part of the strategy. You have to face it. There's really not much to complain. It does make you learn about your team a little bit more as it is, but I have to think about this a little bit better. Hidden Power, again, Hidden Power Grass, I would imagine, is going to take down the Marowak. And at this point, I really don't have any Pokemon to handle Zapdos. Zapdos can pretty much take down the remaining of my team. So I felt to myself, you know what, I'm gonna still try, you know, I'm not gonna run away, I'm just gonna try to do stuff left and right. He switches out to his Rhydon. I'm gonna Steel Wing on the switch against Steel. Zapdos with resist wouldn't do much, but at this point I'm just kind of waiting for him to take down the rest of my Pokemons. This kind of does allow me to explain and kind of try to explain myself the basics of this team and what I should have changed to have the better chance against the rest of these guys. Rhydon does go down. The two remaining, I believe one is asleep or if not poisoned. That is Miltank. Cannot really take me one-on-one, but his Skarmory can definitely do. Basically what I've noticed is that Light Screen as well as Drill Peck and Thunder Wave that I had. Light Screen for the sake, as I mentioned, my team cannot take special moves all that well. On Zapdos is not a good condition. I should have probably run Hidden Power, Water or Grass to have a better chance against Rhydon there, because if Rhydon would have been taken down very early game, and if I, for example, if I try to play like a Miss Scout on his behalf, if I like try to hit my Hidden Power and then take down Rhydon later on, Zapdos could have had such much easier time against things like Miltank, against things like this, definitely, but I haven't done that, and that was completely my bad of not running such a move. Again, I'm trying to be a little bit more gimmicky, even in the environment that I'm not too comfortable in, or not too familiar, do we say, not comfortable but familiar, as I'm trying to get in. And I guess gimmicks aren't that, they just don't work that well if you are, again, a newcomer that's been forever staying away second generation. So he's got a Cleric team, and that is very big. Like, it is very potent, very powerful. Resting away that Heal Bell Link with your Miltank pretty much takes away all the damage and regains that back like nothing happened. So I'm starting to notice my changes that I have to make on this team. Definitely learn from this bell, and I felt, you know what, since I learned from this bell, I definitely have to. I felt it would be a good idea to upload it and share it. Didn't feel too good about losing, honestly, because of how this battle went at the end. That is, a lot of misplays on my behalf, but my opponent played a mighty game, and that was my first loss in the second generation. So good game to my opponent, Argon. Hope to battle you again. Hope you guys have enjoyed this as much as I did. And yeah, again, as I mentioned, the things that I should have changed is most definitely there was a Pokemon that I feel is not necessary. It's either Scizor or Houndoom, based on the team that I have, or maybe even Kingdra. Bite is too gimmicky for its own good right now. It just doesn't work that well because there's moves that simply go beyond. You know, they can take advantage. If your opponent knows what he's doing, he can take advantage of it. So my opponent definitely did that. And you're not stuck, so that was my mistake on my behalf, but that is what it is. Anyways, guys, smash that like button if you enjoyed, share this video with others, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.